So my name is Dave Lawler. I am a campus minister here at Creighton Prep. I graduated in 1995. I had Father Bill O'Leary as my freshman world history teacher, and I also had him senior year for world religions. Father O'Leary had some great lines. He used to sometimes, if people were misbehaving, he'd say the ice is thin on Lake Demerit, so you better be careful. And he was kind of known for giving a lot of book reports every year, and so he would read books and give them some book reports. And sometimes students would come up to him and say, "Father, I got to be honest with you, I really did not read this book." And Father O'Leary would look at them and say, "A for honesty," and give them an A. He was one of the kindest people I ever met. I think for him, he really exemplifies living out the gospel, and he did that. Every summer he'd fly Greyhound, he'd hop on the Greyhound, and he'd go to one of the coasts to visit family, and he loved being on the Greyhound because he could be with people who maybe weren't always the wealthiest people and minister them on the bus. He loved hearing confessions and ministering to people. He supported so many students with, he's a very simple man, and he gave up so much to support students who were really struggling. There's an O'Leary Fund here at school that we use to support students and their families when they're going through struggles. And he always would really encourage us to be loving in a very radical way.
If there were one word I would use to describe him, it is gentle, and genuine is the second word I think of. When I was a senior, I had Father O'Leary for AP European History. And one of the things I'll never forget is we had to have book reports for AP European History. And one of the guys who was a classmate of mine read, "Bernie becomes a nun." And Father O'Leary gave him credit for that. And the guy's name was Bernie, by the way. And my senior year, Father O'Leary was the college counselor for every senior in my class. And he's just one of the finest human beings I've ever met. And he was a saint long before he died.
So O'Leary was, he loved sports, and Westside Prep Soccer. He pulled me aside once in the faculty lounge and said, "The game tonight, Westside, had this great way of using all these gestures. You kick him and you move his foot and kick and cry chop, and then love them and pick them up at the same time." So he always blended competitiveness and just being loving at the same time. Strange, but it worked. So,
Mr. Jerry Kinney, I teach Spanish here, and I had Father O'Leary as a teacher back in the mid to early 90s. And I remember one day, Father O'Leary every day actually would wear a baby blue blazer to class over his priest garb, I guess. And one day I remember a student said, "Father O'Leary," raised his hand, "Father O'Leary, I'm feeling kind of cold. Can I get your jacket?" Father O'Leary, true to form, took off his jacket, gave it to the student, and the student actually wore it every day for the rest of the year. So, great man, very generous.
All right. I'm Sean Joyce Whip. I graduated from Prep in 1996. And I also had the privilege of living in the Jesuit community in 2002. The thing I remember about Father O'Leary is he was always the guy that would answer the door when we were sitting around at dinner and the doorbell would ring. Nobody ever used the front door in the Jesuit residence. It was always some alum or some friend who needed some money. And Father O'Leary was always the guy that would go answer the door and talk to the guy on the other side of the door for 10 minutes or so.